Have you ever wondered what it really means to live without limits? Nietzsche once said, "God is dead," a statement that shocked the world and still echoes today. But behind this bold declaration was not just rebellion. It was a challenge to rethink everything we believe about meaning, morality, and the human spirit. Imagine a man who lived most of his life in solitude, battling illness and loneliness, yet producing some of the most daring and powerful ideas in history. This is the story of Friedrich Nietzsche. His philosophy is not just for scholars or dusty books. It is a guide for anyone who dares to live boldly, to embrace suffering, and to create their own path in a chaotic world. In this video, we will uncover 10 of Nietzsche's most powerful lessons. Lessons that will push you to question, to reflect, and to transform the way you see your life. From his radical idea of the Übermensch, the higher self we can all strive toward, to his call to embrace fate with courage, Nietzsche's wisdom is as relevant today as it was in the 19th century. But before we dive into the details, I want you to ask yourself, do you truly live by your own values, or do you follow the herd without realizing it? Because Nietzsche believed that the greatest danger in life is not failure, it is conformity. Lesson 1. Dare to live beyond the herd. Nietzsche warned us about the herd mentality, the tendency to blindly follow the crowd without questioning. He believed most people live as copies, not originals. They adopt the values of society, religion, or authority figures without ever asking, do these values truly belong to me? To Nietzsche, the herd life is comfortable, but shallow. He challenged us to step outside the crowd, even if it means walking alone. True freedom, he argued, comes from daring to stand apart, from creating your own way of living instead of borrowing someone else's. Think about it. How often do we buy things, believe things, or even want things just because everyone else does? Nietzsche reminds us that greatness is found in individuality, not in conformity. Lesson 2. Becoming more than yourself. One of Nietzsche's most famous ideas is the Übermensch, often translated as the Overman or the Superman. But this isn't about physical power or dominance. It's about transcending the limits that hold you back. The Übermensch is a symbol of self-mastery, of someone who creates new values instead of being trapped by old ones. This is not about rejecting tradition for the sake of rebellion. It is about becoming more than what society expects of you. Nietzsche believed that each of us has the potential to rise above fear, doubt, and weakness. The question is, will you accept the challenge? The Übermensch is not a distant myth. It is a possibility that lives in you every day, in every choice you make. Lesson 3. Amor fati, love your fate. Nietzsche suffered greatly in life. He battled poor health, constant migraines, and crushing loneliness. But instead of cursing his fate, he embraced it. His philosophy of amor fati, the love of fate, is a call to accept life not just when it is easy, but also when it is painful. He urged us not only to endure hardship, but to love it, to see in every struggle an opportunity to grow stronger. Imagine if instead of asking, "Why me?" you asked, "What can this teach me?" That shift in perspective changes everything. To love your fate means saying yes to life in its entirety, the joy, the pain, the triumph, and the loss, because only then can we live fully. Lesson 4. The will to power. Many misunderstand Nietzsche's idea of the will to power. It is not about controlling others. It is about the inner drive to expand, to grow, to overcome limitations, and to express your highest potential. For Nietzsche, every living being strives to become more, to create, to achieve, to push beyond its boundaries. This force is within you too. It is what makes you want to learn, to improve, to build something lasting. When you feel stuck or powerless, Nietzsche would ask, how are you using your will to power? Are you suppressing it out of fear, or are you channeling it into something that elevates your life and the lives of others? Lesson 5. Eternal recurrence. Live as if forever. Perhaps Nietzsche's most haunting idea is the concept of eternal recurrence. He asked us to imagine this. What if you had to live your life over and over again, in exactly the same way, for all eternity? Every joy, every mistake, every regret, repeated endlessly. Would you celebrate your life, or would you curse it? This thought experiment was not meant to depress us. It was meant to awaken us. If the idea of living your life forever fills you with dread, then maybe it is time to live differently. Nietzsche challenges us to live so fully, so authentically, that if eternity came calling, we would say, yes, I would live this life again. Lesson 6. God is dead. And so, what now? Few statements in philosophy are as provocative as Nietzsche's declaration, God is dead. He did not mean that a divine being literally died. What he meant was that the traditional belief systems and moral structures, once rooted in religion, were collapsing in the modern world. This left humanity with both a danger and an opportunity. The danger was nihilism, a life where nothing has meaning. The opportunity was to become creators of meaning, to rise above despair and write our own values. Nietzsche's warning is still urgent today. If we no longer rely on inherited beliefs, then we must have the courage to ask, what do I stand for? What meaning will I create for my own life? Lesson 7. Beyond good and evil. Nietzsche believed that most moral systems are too simplistic. They divide the world into black and white, good and evil, without recognizing the complexity of human experience. In his view, these rigid categories often limit us instead of guiding us. He urged us to look beyond conventional morality, to examine the motives behind our judgments, and to question who benefits from calling something good or bad. Going beyond good and evil does not mean embracing chaos. It means thinking for ourselves, crafting an ethic that aligns with our own truth, not one imposed on us by others. Nietzsche challenges us. Are your values truly yours, or are they hand-me-downs from society? Lesson 8. Struggle creates strength. Nietzsche's own life was marked by illness, rejection, and solitude. Yet he saw struggle not as a curse, but as a gift. His famous words, "What does not kill me makes me stronger," capture this belief. To Nietzsche, suffering is not something to run from. It is the forge in which character and greatness are formed. Without resistance, there is no growth. Without challenge, there is no achievement. The next time life throws you into difficulty, remember Nietzsche's lesson. Within hardship lies the seed of strength, waiting for you to claim it. Lesson 9. Art as the highest expression of life. For Nietzsche, art was not decoration, it was survival. He saw art as the truest way to affirm life, to transform pain into beauty and chaos into meaning. Music, poetry, painting, these were not luxuries but necessities. They allowed us to see life with fresh eyes and to embrace even its darkest moments. Nietzsche himself confessed that without music, life would be unbearable. This lesson urges us to cultivate creativity, to engage with art not as spectators but as participants. Whether you paint, write, sing, or simply appreciate, art is a reminder that life, with all its struggles, is still worth celebrating. Lesson 10. Say yes to life. At the heart of all Nietzsche, teachings lies a simple but radical idea. Say yes to life. Not just to the easy moments, but to all of it. The joy and the sorrow, the beauty and the suffering. To say yes to life means to embrace it fully, without retreating into bitterness or despair. It means to live with courage, passion, and authenticity, even when existence feels overwhelming. This final lesson is both a challenge and an invitation. Nietzsche asks us, will you reject life, or will you embrace it with a resounding yes? So, what have we uncovered from Nietzsche's philosophy? 10 powerful lessons that invite us to look deeper at our lives, to create our own meaning in a world where old certainties are fading, to move beyond rigid morality, to see struggle as a source of strength, to embrace art as a way of affirming life, and finally, to say yes, even to the hardest parts of existence. Nietzsche never promised comfort. He promised honesty. And in that honesty, he believed, we could find a fierce kind of freedom. His words still challenge us today, not to live quietly by someone else's rules, but to rise up, to think for ourselves, and to live fully, without apology. Now I want to hear from you. Which of Nietzsche's lessons spoke to you most? Was it the idea of creating your own values, or the call to embrace struggle as growth? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to continue the conversation with you. And if this video gave you something to reflect on, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more philosophy brought to life, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Because remember, philosophy is not just about reading books, it is about living differently. And if Nietzsche were here, he'd ask you only one thing. Will you dare to say yes to life?